Most people think that the hardest part is figuring out their style roots, but after analyzing over 50 clients, I don't think that's the case. A lot of mistakes can still happen even after you've identified them. So today I wanted to talk about the 7 biggest misconceptions about the style root system and how to fix them. The first misconception is something that can be quite pricey, and that is believing that you can style any piece into your style roots. And that is true for most separates. They're quite flexible and allow you to build an outfit around it that still works. But when it comes to those one-piece items, things like dresses, jumpsuits, and rompers, and also bigger pieces like longer coats, those pieces have so much personality that if they don't contain at least 2 of your style roots, you're going to find them very difficult to style. And an example was this client who had bought this checkered shirt dress. She had a moon style root, but also a very, very strong desire for stone, which is all about being casual, relaxed, dynamic. So this being a shirt dress and being quite stiff and structured definitely had mountain and moon vibes. And so no matter how casual my client tried to make it, using sneakers and a nylon bag, things like that that drop the formality level, it was never really successful because the dress is such a big piece that was taking the outfit into that more formal mountain direction. Another example from my own wardrobe is this dress that is both feminine in the way that is cut, but also in the dainty floral print. And because flower is not one of my style roots, I find this dress very difficult to style. And even if I try to add the belt to make it more mountain and maybe add a leather jacket and tougher boots to add moon, it is still a very dainty feminine dress and I never really reach for it. Now take a different dress from my wardrobe that I have found myself consistently reaching for. This pink dress from M&M has a little bit of structure. It is also quite long and so it definitely plays to my mountain style route, but then the bright color and the playful zipper detail is actually playing into sun. And because the foundations are correct, I can then play up with the accessories to create slightly different looks. And because dresses, jumpsuits, coats are usually some of the most expensive pieces you're going to buy, try and make sure they fulfill at least 2 of your style roots, otherwise you're going to have a difficult styling challenge. But even if you're choosing the right pieces, there is another way that you can misread your style roots entirely. A lot of people reduce style roots to just the most common association. For example, mountain becomes formal, moon becomes black, and sun becomes colorful. But if you look into Ellie's book, each of the style roots actually has about 10 to 15 words that are associated with it. And so, for example, mountain can absolutely be formal, but it can also be structured, intentional, strong, professional, or authoritative. And all of those words, yes, they are connected, but they're not identical. And for me personally, I don't actually enjoy very formal dressing. What I enjoy is feeling very intentional in my outfits and having a sense of strength and authority, especially in work contexts. So mountain helps me to bring those elements in some of the shapes or fabrics or elements that I choose without necessarily creating as a whole a formal outfit. So stop asking, what does the style root look like? And start asking, what is the style root expressing? And that leads to an even bigger misconception. A lot of people can look into the items and think that they can just guess the style root purely from the visual side. But the reason you're drawn to something matters just as much. And an example from my closet is this leopard print skirt. Now, if you look at the style root just visually, you probably think this belongs in the fire style route. And that's because the skirt is quite feminine in the cut, is quite close to the body, and leopard print is one of those patterns that are associated with fire. But when I ask myself, why do I keep the skirt? Why don't I declutter it? I realized that I actually enjoy the skirt for the level of tension and visual interest that it can create. For example, I can take a more structured shirt and put this skirt to create a fun, slightly more interesting work outfit. Or I can pair it with a patterned t-shirt to create a pattern clash. Or I can use this with a colored top to create a visually more interesting, richer outfit. And all of those reasons are definitely the sun style logic. It has nothing to do with me wanting to feel feminine and sensual or to show my body off. And so that skirt for me is serving very, very different purpose. The same thing can apply to a leather jacket. Someone with the moon style route may be drawn to leather jackets because of the sense of toughness and strength they can bring. Someone with the mountain style route can choose a classic leather jacket because it's a timeless piece and it's usually made of high quality material. And someone with the earth style route may be drawn to a leather jacket because of the natural origins of the material and the durability. And so that's why analyzing celebrity outfits is only part of the story. You don't know the specific reason, the motivation why they chose this specific piece. And that can make your style route analysis be a little bit one-sided. So if you're still not sure what your style routes are, ask yourself, why am I drawn to this? What is it doing for me? What sort of need is this fulfilling? And once you start thinking about the why, you realize that style routes are not just about the items themselves, but also about how you put outfits together. And that is another misconception. A lot of people ignore the fact that style routes actually have innate logic. I've seen at least 3 of my clients who have both mushroom and sun as their style routes. And if you only look at the visual, that can be very difficult to grasp because mushroom is all about simplicity, minimalism, clean lines, classic pieces, neutral color palettes. And then sun is all about unexpected, interesting shapes, bright colors, and just very, very different vibe from mushroom. And when I start to look at the client's outfits, I see, for example, a bright orange or a bright purple long sleeve. Now, on the surface, this can feel very sun, bright colors. But when you start to look at first the construction of the item, it's very classic. It's very simple. There is no extreme shapes. There's no extra detailing. There's no interesting cuts that make this item very, very flamboyant. And more than that, my clients would often style those pieces, maybe with a pair of jeans, sneakers or loafers, and that's just about it. There's no layering, no crazy accessorizing, and no attempts to really play up on the interestingness of the piece. And that is because they have a very strong mushroom style route. They want to simplify and almost tone down all of that brightness. And so that color comes from the sun, but then the restraint visually comes from mushroom. And it's not necessarily by picking mushroom pieces, but it's using the mushroom style logic, the mushroom styling technique to create the best outfits. And so your style routes will influence more than just the pieces you buy. They influence layering, your accessories, how you use color, and that level of visual complexity that you feel comfortable around. So sometimes your style routes may show up not so much in the pieces that you choose to wear, but in how you style your outfits. And honestly, I think this is exactly the reason why so many people feel confused even after they've identified their style routes. Because most people understand the visual side of the style route system, but the misunderstanding happens when it comes to translating those style routes into real outfits, into shopping decisions, and styling choices. And that is why I've created the style routes workshops. We're going to dive deep into the 8 style routes, how they show up not just visually, but also in the styling, how you can use them to make your outfits correct for you, and how they can work for your wardrobe in what you buy and what you choose to declutter. So if you want to learn how the style routes work and avoid any expensive shopping mistakes, we start on the 21st of June, and I'll leave all the details below. Now, let's talk about one of the questions I hear the most often. What if I feel like that I have more than 3 style routes? And that is another misconception that I think comes from Ellie herself as a creator of the system, because she believes that everyone has 3 style routes, and having more than that is usually because you're not exactly clear on your personal style. Now, as someone that thought I had 4 style routes and I've reduced them to 3, I tend to agree. For a lot of people, I think it's a little bit of lack of clarity. But at the same time, I have also had clients who genuinely have and use 4 different style routes. Now, what I think sticks to the number 3 is a number of style needs that you actually try to use. So if you're familiar with my style needs spectrum, sometimes I find that a client is using both routes on that spectrum to fulfill that need. For example, if they care about intentionality and put togetherness, I often have clients using both mushroom and mountain without going to the extreme. And for them, that is 1 style need, but 2 style routes. And so they can have both the blazer and the simple top, the wider leg trousers and the cigarette pants. And all of those elements make sense within their wardrobe. Sometimes though, you may find that you have 2 style routes that fulfill 1 need that don't even belong on the same spectrum. And an example from a recent client, she had the need for ease, that was stone, the need for subversion, which was moon, and then the need for visual boldness, the need to feel seen. And she was using both fire elements and sun elements, sometimes having both of those in her outfits and sometimes having just 1. And she loved all of those outfits and they felt very her. And so for her, it would be incorrect for me to decide between each of them because she was absolutely incorporating pieces of both of those style roots in her outfits across different scenarios. And so don't obsess about the numbers and trying to narrow it down from 5 or 4 to 3. Instead, just focus on understanding what you're actually trying to create and express. And speaking of misunderstanding style roots, there is one in particular that gets reduced to a single visual cue most of the time. And that is this whole idea that Moon is all about wearing black. Moon is so misunderstood because most people focus on how it's expressed visually. But Moon is also about depth, contrast, edginess and contradiction, emotional depth and complexity, and even subversion. And so in the context of a very informal stone outfit, for example, distressed jeans with a graphic tee, I had clients who choose to wear a blazer not to make the outfit more formal, but to create a bit of depth and to show that they're not either casual or formal, there's something in between. And that visual tension represents their emotional depth and parts of their personality that they want to show visually. And so if you have the Moon style route and you're just looking at black clothing, you're missing probably a big part of what makes the style route work. And you can have Moon in combination with any of the other ones, and you don't really have to wear black in order to have that style route. And finally, there's one misconception that can make a good outfit feel incomplete even when the style routes are right. And that is believing that your style routes only show up through your clothing. What I've realized after analyzing so many people is that your hair and makeup can also carry the style roots. So I work with a client who had both fire and stone as part of her style roots. She wanted comfort and ease in her outfits, especially after having a kid. And so those tight bodycon shapes that fire usually demands just didn't feel right for her. So instead of focusing on fire through her clothes, she often brought that in her hair, in the way that she would do some more romantic curls, put her hair up, or wear red lipstick. And all of those choices, all of those details actually created quite a bold, glamorous look, even when she was dressed in quite casual clothes as a whole. And so that was enough for her to make the outfit feel complete, even though she wasn't wearing any fire pieces. I noticed this myself as well because I require a middle to high level of formality without going to the extreme. And so on the weekends, when I'm usually dressed a little bit more casually, maybe I'm moving a bit more, I actually tend to put some effort into my hair and makeup in order to feel like myself. But then other times, when I'm dressed in a more formal outfit, I would intentionally leave my hair a little bit undone and maybe not wear any makeup besides just filling my eyebrows. And that is very intentional because I know that with a formal outfit like this, if I also did my hair and put the red lipstick, it would take this to a very high formality outfit. But then if my hair is a little bit wavy and relaxed and my clean face, then this makes me a little bit more approachable rather than formal. You might be on the other end, just like my client, that you prefer more casual, relaxed clothes, but then you actually need something in your hair and makeup to bring the formality level a little bit higher. So sometimes the missing thing isn't actually a piece of clothing or something that you need to buy. It's the framing that you do with your hair and makeup. So I'm curious to know which of those misconceptions surprised you the most. And if you want some help with identifying your style roots, I'll leave the style roots workshops and the style roots analysis below. See you in the next video.